Memoriapolis mixes city building with 4x like civilization, because we're gonna go through the ages. Our city over here is gonna grow through the ages. Right now we're in the first one, the Antiquity, but there are 4 more after. In the first episode that you can find, of course, in the video description below, I explained to you all of the basics, how to get resources, how, the construction of your city is very organic. You don't decide where you put houses or even districts. I also talked about the esplanade. We talked about the building tree or research tree, the satisfaction needs. And at the end of that first episode, we had disappear. This was the first faction that wants to basically join us. The Eliotes are the gate of your city. They are free citizens, they have no leader, but they want to join us. These workers are renowned for their expertise in agriculture and food production. They used to be able to feed the Spartan army entirely, so there's no doubt that they'll be able to feed our population as well. If you accept them, this faction will occupy an available area in your city. When to do that, they will also give us some gold coins, some cultural character production, which is this thing over here. We'll talk about it in the future. Right now, they will come with a trust level of 35. And what is really key is with those factions, if we check over here, so this is the faction. Right now, as I said, their trust is 35. If we tax them medium, we're going to gain a bit of coin every cycle, and the trust will stay the same. If you tax them high, you're going to gain double the amount of gold, but the trust is going to decrease. And if you put no tax, you will obviously not get any taxes, but will gain trust. And I think this is good to do at the beginning for me, get trust high, because if the trust is very low, they will actually close their border and you will lose. Not right away. It's not if one does it that you lose, but if multiple does it, then you lose. The key thing is you want to get those factions as quickly as possible, because their faction power is then going to slowly increase. And while it increases, so for example, when you reach 5, we'll get access to this cultural building, which is the level 2. Then when it reaches 8, we're going to get to the service, the Aureum that I showed you last time. Then more and more things will get access. And then the key one is at 40, where you get the wonder of that age. Now, what is important though is you don't actually want them to go too high either, because as you can see, there are some problems over here. They will, for example, ban you from demolishing something. They will prohibit you from changing age, or they will become independent. And at that point, they're going to expand on their own without asking for your approval, and that's going to be bad. So it's great that we have our first faction, and I think it's one of these. Here it is, because it's next to the ceramic workshop, right? So you can see the faction there. We can also in the future destabilize it or ban it, but right now, definitely this is not what we want to do. What we'll want to do soon is probably try to build this one, right? The arena. So let's unpause the game, start getting a few more people into the city. And I think, again, remember that we also want to try to get our Villa Beard, our center of the Antiquity that is currently at level 2, to try to get as quickly as possible to the higher level, which will require a bit more population, but also for us to start making sand and clay, which will probably be the next objective after the arena. So it is 1 minute later, we have enough to build the arena. Now we're not going to build it over here, right? Because over here we already have some of our sectors. They are close to the green, right? So they're going to be focused on green. We want to put it maybe on this side, on that side, try to create basically a different type of, of sectors. Here we have access to 2, anyway, to make it 3. Nope, not, oh, wait here. If I turn it a bit like this. Yeah, I can make it 3 on this side. So it is. We separate them. Now this is going to give us some safety. We don't have a choice. And then we can choose if we want the second one to be health, belonging, esteem, or creativity. Health is already pretty high. Belonging is positive, but it's not like crazy. And these ones are already starting to be bad. But I'm thinking we'll try to get belonging so that we at least have 3 that are really high. It is. See, we have 3 really high, so that's great. 20% of production. Very cool, very cool. And now we can start focusing on the other ones, but we will do that after doing a couple more productions. To be precise, after doing probably 2 queries, but those 2 queries, we're gonna want them to go where there is clay. And as you can see, there is a bit of clay there, but it is in the swamp. Versus here, we have a lot of it. And then there is also a lot of sand there. Versus on this side, it may be a bit more complex. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a second of these. We're going to build it somewhere over here as far as possible. This is going to take 2 people to maintain, a couple of people to build, but 2 people to maintain. And then as soon as this is built, we know we're going to be able to put 1 here. Yeah, as you can see, we're too far from the clay. And even for the sand, actually, we can put a sand one there. That's pretty good. So we remember there's a lot of sand here. Yeah, let's do that. So one sand on this side, and then we can start with the clay on the other side as soon as we get, this built, and also we get 8 workers. This has been built, and obviously this is also creating some attraction, right? So we have neighborhoods that want to be created around. Hopefully we're gonna get a second faction pretty soon on this side. Let's see it. Now I see that we are also in negative. No, it's fine, we're still in positive, sorry. Basically when your food is full, the farm stops working. Okay, so let's press 6 again to just check. I think here, if we place it there, we would have a lot of clay. Love it. Actually, let's try to gather all of the clay that is over here. So we can choose, right? This one has access to everything, stone, sand, and clay. So you have to choose. In this case, we're gonna do clay first, but when this is empty, then you'll be able to move to the next. So it's not too bad. Done. So with this, we're gonna start making both clay and sand. I think very soon we're gonna try to get 2 of these again, like we did with the stone. But first, I'm thinking maybe we're gonna try to get this via Idificium, as well as potentially the improvement, because we already reached 300 of population. We just need a bit more of sand and of clay. Okay, yeah, all good there. Now, one thing we could have potentially done, by the way, is put a bit less of people in the farm, because as we said, we're producing a lot, and that took a lot of people. But more importantly, I think what we're gonna want to do is we have 2 of these green cultural character production or cultural characters. This can help you do many things: stop an incident, increase production, using a trade route, etc. But it depends on the color. Basically, stopping a fire, for example, is the red one. The production one is the green. So that's the one we're gonna use, where, as you can see, we're a bit low on clay, and we know we need clay for that one in particular. So we're gonna go over here, and we're gonna click there. As you can see, it says 1 cultural character increases the production of that query for 100 cycle by 25%. It's not gonna break the game, but it's gonna help us, and we have, those 2 points. There's not much else we can do with it. So I think this is a good idea. Let's also see, we have 75 of sand, so clay is probably the next one we should be doing. I think let's go already into another query for the clay, because that's really what's limiting me at this moment. We're going to put it as close as possible here, get a lot of clay again, or maybe on this side, sorry. Let's actually do that. This is 5,000 of clay, this is great. And maybe we will even put also the bonus on that one to try to really get as high as possible on these. In terms of wood and stone, as you can see, we're good. We are actually reaching very quickly the maximum of storage there, but we don't have any people to build more storage, which is why I have created, this faction, and this ceramic workshop was really the first one I wanted to go to, because I want to get that faction to 8 points as soon as possible to unlock the Orium, because the Orium will increase our stock by 500 across the board. So this is a really powerful one. While we're waiting, let's unlock a couple more. We're gonna go with the Forum, because the Forum could get us access to the Senate if we have a faction for it. And then I think we're not gonna unlock anything else yet, because the reality is we can't build them anyway. So there's no point in wasting until we know exactly what we're gonna be using them for. As we said, the next one we probably want is the Via Idificium. This is gonna be 15 people, but also 75 of this clay. So this is great that we have a second one coming here. Okay, one more turn, done. So again, as I said, I think we should just boost it. Okay, the villa is ready to be upgraded, but we're not gonna do it right away, because this is going to give me access to no productions. But the reality is, I don't think we're ready for those production. We have very little workers. So instead, I want to wait and first build that one. Okay, one more workers and we'll be fine. Here it is. So this is the green on this side, right? This is the red. So let's start building another one, maybe over here or over there. I think this fits 3. Yes, it fits one that is already red, but at least we have 3. It's going to give us some more health. We're okay in safety. No, we're actually not that great. We're not perfect. It's only 10% instead of 20. But at the same time, we're starting to get into the negative on these two. So we have to be careful. I do still think it is better. Those bonuses here are right now better than these, because we're not getting any gold anyway right now. And the construction time is not that bad. So I'm thinking we try to get the belonging again to get the 20% production bonus. The accident, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But you do see how hard it is, especially at the beginning right now, to get this one all high. I don't have enough people. Like, it's just impossible. What we do have, let's check how we're doing on the faction. We're now at 51 of trust. We're going to put it a bit higher and then we're going to start taxing. And then in terms of the Esplanade, let's check this. So we are at cycle 200. Remember, at 300, we're going to have a checkpoint. And we need to make sure those black bars are all the way here by that time. We're doing good on resource points, population satisfied and faction power. We're not doing good on building points. So we need to make sure that we create a couple more buildings, basically. Now, despite having just built this, we have enough resource to do the improvement. So let's do this. We don't have people anyway to use those resources. So let's do this. Now, this reduces obviously all of our resource, but that's okay. That's okay. As you can see, we're really good on resource. So I'm happy with that. But now we need to make sure that we try to push our satisfaction a bit higher, probably. Right? So the next one is going to be the forum. That is 21 people. That's a lot. Now, to be very clear, you can also rebuild one that you have built before. I can build a second ceramic workshop if I want. That's not a problem at all. When you overhit, you can see, first of all, how many you've built, right? It says built 1 over here. And you can also see it where it is, right? It's highlighted. So that is great. Here it is. We have now 3rd level. We have access to a couple of new things in the building tree, in particular 2 new production, the stonemason, so let's unlock it, and the carpentry. Now, these are the first kind of production chains because they will convert stone into cut stone. These ones wood into wooden beams. So that is going to obviously reduce our wood production, reduce our stone production, and we need to keep that in mind. Speaking of which, we have reached 10. Now, this takes 8 to maintain, so it's quite a lot. I actually do feel like we should first try to build the forum, try to also get as quickly as possible a faction of that one. Let's continue moving forward. In terms of the next improvement, which is already level 4 out of 5. This is 900 people, so we need to more than double. And additionally, we're also talking about quite a bit of resource and gold. We're going to need to start making gold for sure, otherwise we're never going to get there, as well as the 2 new resources over here. So we do have time, which is also why I'm thinking we go first for the forum as soon as we can get to 21 workers. Now, a couple of important things, as I was mentioning before, the power of our function will slowly but surely increase. For example, here we can see the faction Heliotis are reached a new level of power. In doing so, it offers you the plan for a new building in its culture. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, but it's basically the level 2 for cultural of that faction. You can see it over here. Now, this is gonna cost more blueprints. It's at 500, it's 750. This is also going to cost more, right? We're talking about 200. We're also talking about 20 people, but it will gain more, right? 175. 75 and 300 of attraction versus this one was 150 and 68, but it's not that much more, right? So you have to be careful. They may not always be worth it. Actually, I should do the math. I'll show you in a sec. So it is, I've done the math and basically, let's sum up just those costs, right? Because yeah, you could argue that sand is a bit harder than wood to get, but even if you just sum up those 2 costs and you sum up those costs over here, right? And then you compare this to your satisfaction, or you also compare it, but potentially to the people. So satisfaction per cost is for the ceramic workshop 0.6. Satisfaction per cost for the second level is 0.5. So we basically get less satisfaction for the same amount of cost. Similarly for the people, for the ceramic, it is 13 of satisfaction per workers, versus for the second one, it's only 12.5 of satisfaction. So again, it feels like, at least for these 2, the ceramic workshop is a better idea. You'd rather build the second one rather than build this. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below if somehow you did agree with this, but that's what I'm seeing through the math. Now, more importantly, we have a second event, which is a surprising land. So there has been somewhere over here, okay, there is another ruin. Now we could, again, either demolish it or repair it. I do want to mention that it is also important to realize, okay, where is that ruin? Is that somewhere where you think your city is going to expand towards? And also, what is probably the type of ruin? Like you can see that this ruin is a political one. So potentially it could be any of these at the bottom there. It could be a forum. But is it great to have it there? My city may not even get there because this is very focused on a lot of the industry. I think we're going to expand probably a lot more on this side and on that side. So I think we're going to destroy it. Now, it will reduce the trust of this faction. So we are at 55 there. It's going to drop me to 45. Now, this is why also I've been doing this, to try to increase the faction trust, because you may have those things, those events that will decrease your faction trust. But I do think this is the right things to do. It's a lot of resource, including those 2 new ones, and money will be necessary for that upgrade, right? So we're gonna go with it. And yeah, it's gonna use a couple of our people for a while, but I think when this is finished, maybe hopefully we have enough people for an actual forum, almost. And we have the second faction that wants to join. Amazing. This is the Merchants of the Port of Tyre. They are at the gate of the city, the same text as before. The only difference is these ones, they only have 25 of trust. This is because I like my civilization, I forgot what it's called, sorry, but at the beginning of the game when you start, you choose one of the faction, and I had chosen the green one, right? So this is why before I had 35. But anyway, we're going to accept these ones, and right away we're going to do the same thing of putting 0 tax on them so that their trust increases. But yeah, all good there. So let's continue moving forward. By the way, we also gain 1 point with them coming over here. Now this one is for the market, so shouldn't help us right now. The good thing though is we are able to make a forum now. So let's see. We have 1 faction on this side, 1 here, 1 there. So we could either put it here or there. I feel like this is great. Look at this. We're taking most of the space there, but we're touching 3. And then potentially over here, over there, like that feels great. And this is going to give me esteem, which was very low. So I'll take it. This is potentially also, I think we should continue trying to get belonging into the top, because this 20% bonus here is great. And now at least the esteem is not in the red anymore. We do have the creativity in the red, and safety is no longer in the green either. So as I was saying before, you know, satisfaction at the beginning, really tough. Let's take a quick look at our Esplanade and see that we are great. Look at this. The black bars are definitely where they should be. So we should get all the coins here. That is amazing. That is amazing. What is our next goal? I mean, if we look over here, this is going to take some time and some resource. So we should probably start on those 2 things. We are going to have the carpentry and the stonemason. So as I said before, I think we're going to make this a bit of a production zone. I do want to avoid, if possible, you know, to put it in the wrong place. Like here, I probably will want to put another of these. So we're going to put it more maybe over here. It doesn't matter. You don't have to put, you know, the stonemason close to a small quarry. The resources are shared. And then the second, as soon as we get 8, will be the carpentry. We'll also have to check that we're still making enough. I mean, right now we're definitely making tons of, like we're full on wood, so that won't be a problem. But still, we're gonna have to keep an eye on this for sure. 2 seconds later, we build this first one, and we have now enough also to build the second. So let's go. I'm gonna put it here in this corner. Nice, nice. And yeah, there's a lot of wood there too, so maybe in the future we'll put also a wood production. But so far so good. I mean, we're also full on clay and we're pretty good on sand. So I'm not going to put more production. I think, as I've been saying right now, I should try to focus on cultural, maybe also the services as soon as we unlock them. So we're going to have to decide now if we try to go for the other 2 that we don't have yet, the religious one and the education one, or if we double down on the one we already have. So let's have a quick look. You know, they take resources we already have, 19 people, okay? And this one is 15 people with resources we already have. I think we can. Maybe, you know, we put at least 1 on this side. We try to be greedy and go for as many factions as we can. So let's go and start with this one, because this is just 15 people. Okay, accept. And as I said before, maybe we will also just put a second ceramic workshop or put a second arena, you know. 2 things just happened, ladies and gents. We got this message here that in 20 cycles, they're going to come at the Esplanade. But as we saw just before, we're already good, so I'm not worried there. And we have also creative mind of the Heliotes. Now they have the hero room, which is really the critical one I've been talking about before. This is in the services. This is going to cost a bit more. It's 750. It's also going to, by the way, cost a bit more in terms of all of these, like 25 people and more resource. But still, I think this should be our goal as quickly as possible. It actually also does give a lot of satisfaction. So it's definitely better to do that one as soon as we can. So yeah, I'm gonna push forward, try to get to 25 people and do that one. What you may want to do if, you know, we're a bit desperate, let's say, is, you know, wood, we have already a lot of wood. So we can also pause, you know, some of those wood production. And now we have enough to build the air room. Remember, this is a green one. So we probably want to put it towards more the green sectors so that, you know, it pushes this sector to be even more green. I'm gonna see if it fits there for any Oh, wait, no, I forgot we can actually destroy the roads. So we can put it on the road, it's not a problem. The road will actually kind of go around now. And yeah, we're getting some health. We're gonna go with belonging as always. And I'm thinking we may want to start fixing the creativity. It's going really down now. We're at 15% duration. So let's try to put that back up. Here it is. Now this is back to 10%. The belonging and health is also perfect right now. Cool. So once this is built, we're going to have a boost of our storage, which will definitely be useful. Speaking of which, we can also check quickly basically the consumption versus the production. As you can see, it says we're going to produce 8 for the cycle. We're consuming nothing for the cycle, but in one cycle, we're going to consume 21, or to be more precise, every 6 cycle, you're consuming 21 with this carpentry. So you can calculate, okay, if I'm making 8 every cycle, which basically is 48, right? So 48 minus 21, now you know what you're gaining. So that is great. Here it is. It has been built, and so you can see my storages now, they've increased quite a lot. So that is great. We also have this new thing over here, the reserves. With the reserves, we can see at a glance all of our production. We can see which one are paused, which one are not. We can restart them. We can go to them by clicking on it. We can filter for some of the production and see a lot more. So this is really cool. I mean, the UI is clean, like it's nice, in my opinion. Do tell me in the comments if you disagree. But yeah, we've unlocked this. We've also now just unlocked the Algama workshop. So we're going to check it out. And we have the visit of the Esplanade that has been concluded. So if you look over here, we got 4 of these coins. These are the intermediary coins, right? And these ones are the end of age coins. So that is great. We're also making progress toward the next one. You know, it never stops. And I'm not going to talk about those coins right now, but suffice to say they are super important. Both, they will help you at the end if you have them, and also if you fail to meet one of these, you know, instead of getting the coin, you will get a red cross here and something will happen in your city. So try to avoid that as much as possible. So it is, we have now 21. We've built all of these except the Agro Center, right? So let's see, I'm thinking we do it on this side where this is basically the road becomes the limit between the 2 factions, or we try maybe over here to try to fit all 3. Yep, here it is, we can fit all 3. Good. So this is going to give us again a bit of creativity, and our safety is going a bit low. I'm thinking maybe we push the safety not into the green but closer to it. That is great. That is great. How are we doing over here? We're doing pretty good, and we are pretty far still from this. Now what we may want to do is continue to boost our production, both in terms because this is going to give us more storage. You know, if I build, for example, one of these carpentry, it gives me 25 storage. So maybe I want to do this. But I think, honestly, again, we are okay on the production. We can even see it here with our resource points. I'd rather try to go for the population satisfaction, try to get them all into the positive. By the way, for the production faction, we did unlock the 3rd cultural service, cultural building, the Amalga workshop. Now, this one is even worse. Because first of all, you know, look at this. The cost is pretty high, including those new wooden beams, 27 of maintenance, and it's not higher. This is actually, you know, even smaller. Like this sum is smaller than that sum. This is 250. This is 245. The only good thing is you can spread it across 3 satisfaction. And on top of this, it is a big building versus this one was medium and medium, right? So it's going to take even more space, which we know is limited. So don't go for it. Important step, ladies and gents, of 3rd faction, the military faction, the Hoplites are the gate of the city. All right, that is great. Now, again, they're going to come with only 25, so we're going to right away push them to no tax. But here we're at 48 and here we're at 80. So I think it's time to start, you know, taxing them. Right now, it's not going to be a lot of taxes, to be honest, which is also why I wasn't doing it before. It really is not going to give me much, actually. Let's continue pushing the trust because it's really not giving me a lot. I did build the 2nd of the Via Adecium over here. Just continue to boost my, you know, happiness. We got health and esteem again. Like it's by default the same as what you chose before. So we're good over here. And yeah, we've unlocked something else, the Mycelium, which is perfect because it is services. This will give me access to trading. So we're gonna unlock it and we're gonna try to do it as soon as we can, which probably will take a couple of minutes because these tend to ask for a lot of people. Yeah, 25. So the only thing we can do is potentially again pause some of our production. Like clay is very high. You know, we can pause clay for a bit. 19, 27, here it is, and then build the mycelium. Now, this is the orange. So this is on this side. It's going to be tough to put it here, but on this side should be fine. Yeah, here it is. So some of those military ones here may not like it, but it will probably help me create more on this side in the future. So that's okay. Okay, let's build it and choose. So health for sure. I think we should make sure to boost the belonging really into the full green. Then those ones are fine. I want to avoid having accidents, so let's put the safety. Let's put the safety and done. So these two are in max, love it. It's gonna take 13 turns, and when that's done, we're gonna get access to the trade routes. And I'm gonna be able to show you that. Next, we have not a new faction. This is the faction we already know, the Merchant of the Port of Tyre, but they're asking us for something. They're asking us, can they expand? You have two choices. You can decline. This will decrease their trust by 10 and the trust of everybody else by 5. Or you can accept. In this case, they will give you more power, more trust, and if you're also getting taxes from them, they will give you more taxes. So I think in this case, this is really good to do, yes, because that will give us more power, and more power will get us closer to unlocking new things, and in particular unlocking the wonder for that one. This will also increase the population of that faction, and therefore the taxes you get from them. So again, really good to do this one. Can actually also see them, by the way. If you go over here and you do this, you will be able to see the color of your faction. We have unlocked the trade routes. Right now we only have access to one. This is giving us passive income, which is pretty good because I wasn't making money before. To unlock the other ones, we're going to need to spend money though. So we need to be careful. I'm going to have to look at that in a second. Right now, we are able to only have one trade route or one kind of trade at the same time because we only have one commercial building points. And you can do two things. With each of the city, you can buy and sell different resources. In this case, we can buy sand, tiles, and food. We can sell wood, stone, cut stone, and bricks. So if I look over here, we have a bit of cut stone actually, right? We have not that much actual stone, and we have quite a bit of wood, but we're not full either. So just to show you, I'm going to sell a couple of these, like let's sell 25. So 25 times 6, this is 150. So we're going to gain 150. It's going to take a bit of time, to actually happen, to be sold. And most importantly, as I said, it is taking this slot there. So you have to keep that in mind. And you can actually see it over here at the bottom, where the cultural character will be back in 6 cycle, basically when this thing is goes back to, like, the circle is full, basically. At that point, it's back. Oh, we found another ruin over here, so let's check it out. We would lose trust, right? But we would gain quite a lot of resource. If we don't, we could gain access to that building. I don't have that much trust problem, right? They're pretty high. It's almost at 100. This one, I'm gonna get it to 100 and then start taxing them, even if it doesn't give me a lot of taxes. And yeah, I think we're gonna also go soon for just another one of these. At least we have a lot. Maybe the forum, because we still don't have this faction over here. The problem is I would have loved to put it there, but it doesn't fit. So we would have to put it over here, which is not the end of the world. And the road will basically go around now. There is still quite a bit of stone there, so I don't want to destroy this. But stone is not very high right now, actually. I think it'd be good for us to push stone a bit further. So let me see. We have some stone there. We have some stone over here too. Maybe we do this one. But we're gonna start with the stone, but after we'll have also some of these. Oh, and there is a fire there. Okay, so we need to do something. This is an event that is not good, right? So we're gonna stop the incident by spending the 1 point that we have, military point over here. It is costing 1. Let's stop it, otherwise it could create a lot of problem for us. But yeah, I think this is a good boost. We could also potentially boost this production over here, because this way you sort of, we can delete it quicker, let's say, right? But yeah, it is, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we have a lot of resources now. Pretty good there. We have okay-ish satisfaction. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. I'm a bit annoyed that we only have 3 factions. I think maybe we need to try to get the final one, which is the education one. Why can't I? Oh, we already, no, the religious one is the one we don't have. Sorry, my bad. So if we look over here, right, this will take 19 people. It's a bit more than what we have, but okay. We did unlock something there. This is for the hoplites, the praesidium. So this is this second military one there. Can check again, but 250 for this cost for 22 people, that doesn't seem worth it at all again. And we're starting to have quite a bit of money, so it could be good to actually unlock some other trade routes, both to get access to other things to buy and to sell, but also to actually make more passive income, right? So we're gonna do this one. This is the cheapest, so it shouldn't cost us too bad. And then next will be the 500 or 350 is not bad either. Maybe let's do this one. I see we'll be able to sell some clay, for example, where we're full on clay. So let's unlock that one. But as I mentioned before, I am not able to actually do a trade. Which one is it? This one. I'm not able to do it. You can see it's grayed out because right now I only have one commercial cultural point. We need to wait for it to come back. On the other hand, we now have enough to make over here the first religious building. So let's see. I mean, I think over here we definitely have already a lot happening. There, this is the blue. And the green has a lot of space, right? The green is all over there. So maybe we put it over here where we say, we need to try to expand on this side, basically. Oops, wrong button, my bad. I wanted to rotate it this side, yeah. At least we have two that would be potentially supported. And we're gonna get some belonging. We're good on health, and we're okayish on the other. So the question is, maybe, do we want to try to get something into the green, or do we want to try to avoid esteem going into the red? I'm thinking we try to avoid that one going into the red. Great. Speaking of which, let's check quickly here. We are at 100, perfect. So we can now tax them and make more money than before. These two are, this one is pretty low. This one is getting there. So that is great. That is great. I just want more faction. Why am I not getting more faction? Okay. Last but not least, we're ready. We're ready for upgrade level 4. Okay. We have all of those resources, including the 300 of money. So let's do this. And with that, we're going to unlock again some new productions. That's great. By the way, all of the buildings do look quite nice, at least from far like this. I know that when you go very, very close, you don't see many things, but over here, this is great. We have the brickworks and the tilery. This is the same thing basically as the wooden beam and the cutstone, but for the clay and the sand. So we're going to want to make this production happen for sure to help us, be prepared for both this final level, but also for the wonders. This final level, though, will take 1,800 of people, so doubling our population, that's going to take time for sure. But yeah, as I was saying, this is also to prepare us for the wonders, so we shouldn't wait too long before making it. This is in production over here. We have the brickworks and we have the tilery. Okay, so those two have been unlocked. We can actually already build. This is 8 people. So maybe let's just do it for, so that you can see it before the end of this episode. And I rotate it to make it a bit more organized. And we need just a few more people for the brick one. I also think we'll probably need a new farm soon. But first, yeah, let's make this one happen on here. Okay, good. So that's 2 new production. Here it is. No, we're still okay. We're consuming 54 per cycle based on our population. We're producing 58, but we're getting close. So soon we will definitely need a new farm, which is fine. We'll put it somewhere over here. No problem. No problem. We have also unlocked something here. This is the Memoriapolis. Memoriapolis is over here, level 3. Where are you? Oh no, no. My bad. This is this. Very important. We do want to unlock that. Perfect. Can we even already build it? We have the resources, so let me pause a couple of things. Like we are pretty high on sand, so we can pause that one. And the threat of Macedonia. This is one of the pieces of the game we haven't seen yet, and so I think we're gonna have to wait for the next episode. We've done a lot today, ladies and gents. We've definitely gotten of multiple factions. We've actually gotten 3. I showed you how to manage those factions. Make sure you have a high trust before you tax them. You gain with time, there's not a lot of ways to influence the power of the faction, but there are a couple. For example, we allowed one of them to expand, and then that gave us some more power. And with this power, we unlock new buildings, including services. So we've unlocked things like the trade route, for example, right? We've also managed to pass with flying colors our first check-in in the Esplanade, and the second check-in is coming fast. So we're gonna have to check that out in the next episode. Please don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below if you have any thoughts or questions. Smash like button, it really does help a lot, and I hope to see you next time.